Thank you for watching and subscribing. You helped us reach 100 subscribers. We are grateful. We promise to bring more stories of Black struggles, victories, and resilience. Stay with us. Bright noon, city sidewalk, laughter from a patio table. Preston Vale stands with two friends in tailored suits. He points at a scuff on his shoe and snaps his fingers. Otis. Here. Otis Brooks is 64. Black. Lean from years of night shifts. Blue maintenance jacket. Name patch frayed. He holds a broom and a small tool bag. Preston extends his leg like a prop. Shine this. Now. His friends grin. A phone lifts. Someone whispers, "Get this." Otis glances at the broom, then at the sidewalk full of faces. He kneels because rent waits, because pride learned to share a body with need. His hands shake. He pulls a cloth from his pocket and rubs a circle on leather. He does not look up. A chair scrapes. A white woman in a cream blouse stands halfway. She hesitates. Tessa Gray, 29. She wears thrift clothes again. She watches as if the ground tips. Across the street, Malik Carter stops mid-step. Black, 35. Charcoal jacket. Clothes fade. Short beard. He runs them all on this block. He sees a scene he cannot ignore. He hits record. He walks closer. "Sir," Malik says to Otis, voice low. "Stand with me." Otis looks at the broom. Looks at the camera. He rises slow and stiff. Preston's jaw tightens. He laughs for his friends. "You work for me, Otis." "I work for the building," Otis says. The line is soft. It holds power anyway. Preston turns his smile toward Malik. "You are not needed." His hand cuts the air. Security. Tyrell Mason, young security, jogs over. He sees Malik first, then Preston's friends, then Otis with the cloth. His stance shifts. Malik lowers his phone just enough to show calm. "No one is unsafe," Malik says. "We are ending a show." Preston steps into Malik's space. "He scuffed my shoe and failed to clean the patio. We keep standards. Standards do not include public humiliation," Malik says. Preston's friend laughs. "Is this your block?" "Today it is," Malik says. He is tired of quiet fixes that die in offices. Otis folds the cloth. He tucks it into his jacket. He looks like a man who saw this shape before, many times, in different rooms. He moves to leave. Preston raises his voice. "You are done here." A hush runs along the sidewalk like a wire. Otis stops. He does not turn. This is the hit that lands in a body and sits there for years. Rosa Delgado, cafe owner, steps to the doorway with a tray. "Otis, water." Her face is tight. Jasmine Reed, a nurse on break, holds out a small bomb tin. "For your hands." He nods. He takes neither. He stands very still. Greg Whitmore, the investor in gray, appears at the edge. Pale face. Cool tone. "Preston, bring this inside." Preston waves him off. "You want to win in public. You want to keep this job, old man. Say you're sorry for the mess." Otis turns now. His eyes are clear. "I'm sorry for the years I kept my head down." Phones rise. Air thins. Malik speaks to the group, not only Preston. "Here is what happens next. We hold a forum in the atrium. Noon. Today. Tenants, staff, neighbors." Otis speaks first. Then policy. Then votes. Preston scoffs. "You do not run my calendar." Malik meets his eyes. "I run this property." The words land like a door opening. Whispers move. Preston feels the shift. He forces a grin. "Then you can fire him yourself." "No," Malik says. "We will fix the harm you did. On camera. With rules." Preston thinks he owns the room. He is wrong. But he will drag every friend he can find in a noon forum. He will try to spin this as discipline. He will bring paperwork and a lawyer. Otis will bring only his hands. Stay for the turn. Stay tunned and watch till the end. Thank you. Bright atrium under glass. Tables pulled back. Folding chairs in rows. A small mic on a stand. Handwritten sign. Public forum. Workers arrive first. Cleaners. Cashiers. A barista in flour dust shoes. Security lines the wall. Tyrell stands near the aisle. Eyes open. Palms visible. Rosa carries a pitcher. Shafil's pape coops. Greg stands in back, arms crossed. Preston walks in with two friends and a lawyer in a navy suit. He keeps his chin high. He brings a thin folder and a performance form. He brings a pen that shines. Otis arrives in his jacket and clean cap. He walks with Rosa. He takes the chair next to the aisle. He holds the broom like a cane. Tessa slips into the third row. Clutching a notebook, she does not open. Malik steps to the mic. "We are here because a line was crossed," he says. "We do not strip dignity for sport. Not here." He nods to Otis. "Mr. Brooks, your time." Otis stands. He speaks without decoration. "I work floors and pipes here 11 years. I come on time. I leave after the last spill. This morning I asked for a second set of hands to lift patio planters. I was told to do it alone. My back said no. I scuffed a shoe with dirt I could have swept if I had help. I was told to kneel. I did. Because rent. Because habit. Because being 64 in the city means remembering how fast a job can end." You hear a chair creak. Shoes shift. Breaths held. Preston's lawyer clears his throat. "We have policy about appearance. Staff must model standards. Standards do not include mockery," Malik says. The lawyer holds up a form. "We also have progressive discipline. This would be a written warning." Malik nods. "We will talk about discipline after we address harm." Jasmine raises her hand from the third row. His hands are cracked because he washes chemicals off without proper gloves. "Where's that form?" Tyrell glances at Preston. Preston looks away. Rosa speaks next. He eats at the end of his shift. Half cold, because he stays late to mop after shinier people leave. Greg steps forward. "Enough theater," he says. "You are hurting the brand with this spectacle." "The brand is the people," Malik says. Preston spreads his hands. "He broke standards and created a scene. We expect accountability. And here it is," Malik says. He turns to the screen at the side. It shows the patio. Preston lifts his leg. Otis kneels. Friends laugh. You hear 3 words Preston spoke under his breath. Everyone hears them now. "Know your place." The room goes still. Preston's smile dies. His lawyer frowns. Malik speaks in short lines. "We do not reduce elders. Not for sport. Not for show. Not for a shoe." He reads the draft policy. Simple. Strong. First, no public shaming. Correct in private. Thank in public. Second, 2-person lifts for heavy planters. Gloves provided. Third, a dignity clause in every supervisor's contract. Breach means review and loss of bonus. Fourth, a respect line workers can call without fear. Names protected. Fifth, back pay for overtime worked off the clock the past 12 months. We check logs. We pay what we owe. Preston shakes his head hard. You cannot change contracts in a forum. Greg steps nearer to the mic. We'll be sued. This is reckless. Malik stays level. This is repair. You can raise concerns after the vote. Tessa lifts her hand. She stands. Her voice shakes. "I filmed people for content last week. I made harm look like a test. I am sorry. Otis, I am sorry." She sits fast. Silence holds her words. A barista in flower shoes says, "We see each other. We are tired of eating disrespect with our lunch." Tyrell steps forward. "I heard know your place too. I did not act. That is on me. I will train the team on de-escalation and respect." Preston's lawyer leans and whispers in his ear. Preston stares at the screen. He swallows. Malik taps the mic once. "We vote now. After we vote, we will talk about legal language and timelines. No one will lose a job for telling the truth in this room." Hands rise. Staff first. Tenants follow. Shoppers follow them. The vote passes in the room. But contracts live on paper. Greg will try to stall an email. Preston will try to move his friends to pull funding. Otis will receive a letter. Its first lines will either repair or destroy. Stay for part 3. Comment 1 change you want for workers. What would you have done differently? 2 days pass. The forum clips run in feeds without flashy edits. The line, "Know your place," repeats in captions. People who never enter the atrium now know the air of that patio. A letter arrives at Otis's apartment door. Thick paper. Company logo. Rosa sits with him at the small table. Jasmine stands by the window. Malik waits on a call, phone face down. Otis opens the envelope with a butter knife that saw too many jobs. He reads. He nods. He hands the letter to Rosa, then to Jasmine. They exhale. The letter is a formal apology signed by Preston. The next page is a temporary reassignment with pay while medical checks handle his back. The next is a settlement of unpaid overtime with the amount that matches what Malik's team found in logs. The final page outlines the dignity clause and two-person lift policy going into effect next month. It also invites Otis to join a worker council that meets monthly and reports to the board. Back pay lands Friday. Rosa reads. Retroactive gloves reimbursements included. Otis laughs once, a short sound like a cough. I kept my receipts, he says. The phone buzzes. Greg calls Malik. He does not waste time. We lose donors if you keep this show. Quiet it down and the checkbook stays open. Malik looks at Otis, then at the window where the city breathes. We will run on smaller checks before we run on small souls. Greg pauses. You will regret this. Maybe, Malik says, but not at night. Preston asks for a private meeting. He stands in Malik's office with sleeves rolled and apology words that he practices like lines. I pushed too far, he says. I thought sharp meant strong. It reads cruel on video. It reads cruel in the body it hit. Malik says, make it right outside this office. Preston nods. I will speak at the next forum. Not for yourself, Malik says. For the men and women you manage. He takes off his watch and sets it on the table. This bonus came off the backs of people like Otis, he says. Put in the worker fund. Do not trade a prop for practice, Malik says. Keep the fund. Keep the practices. Keep your job if you live them. Preston nods again. He looks smaller and more human. Greg pushes harder in email. Legal phrases fill the thread. Liability. Exposure. Precedent. Malik's counsel replies with short lines. Lifts and gloves reduce injuries. Private corrections reduce claims. Respect line reduces turnover. Numbers follow. Costs drop when dignity rises. Greg stops copying half his friends. He asks for data and a timeline. Otis walks the atrium with Jasmine. They stop under the glass. He looks up. I did not know my voice could live here, he says. Keep it living, Jasmine says. Tessa catches them with 2 cups of tea. Thank you for staying, she tells Otis. I am learning to listen first. Otis smiles. Listening is work too. At the next forum, Preston steps to the mic. He owns his harm. He names the line. He reads his apology without excuses. He sticks to actions. He thanks Otis by name. He thanks the staff. He does not thank himself. Tyrell presents a short training plan. Rosa shows the new glove stock. Jasmine explains simple back safety checks. The room sees a system become kinder in plain sight. A final push remains. Contracts must be amended at the board table. That room used to be closed. It will not be this time. Will Greg block the vote? Will Preston stand firm? Will this change hold or crumble to memos? Stay for part 4. Please comment how you feel, what you learned. Like and share with friends and family. Board day. Not a private boardroom. The same atrium. The same chairs. A long table up front with name cards that simply say director. People fill the rows. Workers in front. Shoppers in back. Phones down for once. Malik opens. We bring the board into public view, he says. We read the amendments on the same floor where harm happened. The council reads the clean language. Add a dignity clause to every supervisor contract. Breach triggers review and loss of bonus. Write 2-person lifts for heavy items into the handbook. Gloves provided. Create a respect line with privacy safeguards. Audit lasts 12 months for off-the-clock hours. Pay in full. Publish a quarterly summary of safety and respect actions. Greg looks out over the crowd. He sees his reflection in 100 eyes. He speaks into the mic. His voice is plain. I care about profit. I care about my name. Today I learn I must care about the people who hold up both. Vote yes. Preston speaks next. Vote yes. The directors raise hands. It is not close. Malik raps the gavel once. The room exhales. No cheers. A quiet wave of relief. People rise without rushing. Otis steps forward with his broom. He leans it against the chair and speaks into the mic. I almost swallowed this whole. I almost went home and told myself I deserved it. I did not. None of us did. Thank you for lifting this with me. Rosa slides him a small box. Inside sits a pair of new gloves and a note signed by staff from 3 stores. For the hands that held this place up. Jasmine hugs him quick. Tyrell shakes his hand with both of his. Preston walks up and looks Otis in the eye. I am sorry, he says. I am changing how I speak and how I lead. Otis nods. We will see, he says. It is not bitter. It is honest. Outside, the sun is still bright. The patio is clean. The table where the laugh happened holds a family with 2 kids and a carton of milk. Otis loosens his shoulders. He laughs for real now, a deep sound that resets a chest. Tessa films the sign at the entrance. No public shaming. Help in private. Thank in public. She posts without music. She adds no twist. The views arrive anyway. Comments read like neighbors on a porch. My dad worked a mop too. This is the policy I needed in my job. Thank you for doing this in the open. Malik stands with the worker council for a photo, without poses. Hands at sides. Eyes up. Rosa holds the gloves. Tyrell, the young guard, leans into the shot, then straightens. Greg stays to the end. He writes a check. He writes a note on the memo line. For safety. For respect. That evening, Otis sits at his kitchen table. He opens the envelope with back pay. He stares for a minute. He folds the check and slides it under the sugar bowl, the safe place. He calls his sister immobile. He tells her the whole thing. She laughs and cries in the same breath. Brother, she says, you held the line. To every viewer and new subscriber, you helped us reach 100. Thank you. You turn views into voice. You turn comments into change. We will keep bringing true stories of Black struggle, victory, and resilience. Your support matters. Thank you for watching till the end. Subscribe to Echoes of Black Struggles. Share with one person who needs this win.